How yummy is Yummy Bowl? Now, don't let its somewhat shabby storefront at the strip mall fool you. Yummy Bowl is a family-owned business with more than 20 total national outlets that are all east of the Mississippi. This one is their first in Maryland, so it's kind of like the Panda Express of Mongolian stir-fry. This location just opened up a month ago, so the inside is brand spanking new. It's a pretty simple dining model that you've seen if you have ever been to any Chinese buffet or perhaps a quick way Japanese hibachi restaurant. But since I've never been here, we're going to check it out along with the Daily Kids. Hey, I'm curious and you're curious. On this episode, let's do a run-through of Yummy Bowl today on The Daily Dad. Let's explain how this works, and then let me give you some of my tips on how to get the most bang for your buck, and then let me offer some final impressions. Like a coin, this restaurant has two faces. On the one side, which is where Yummy Bowl comes in, is a Mongolian BBQ. Now, for these prices, you are given a bowl, which is the size of a cereal bowl, with which to make just one visit to the buffet-style self-serve island and to fill up the bowl as best you can. If you go back for seconds or more, each additional bowl will be $4 per. You can pile as much of whatever you want into the bowl. Then you make your way over to the sauce station where you can add marinades and spices to your dish. The cooks will then start their work. The action happens on this circular Mongolian grill. It's basically a large, round, flat griddle in high heat mode. Several cooks can thus prepare dishes at the same time, although there were 3 cooks here today as they continually mix and grill and maneuver the ingredients until everything is cooked and ready to serve. This process is very fast, and once it's ready, your server brings your food to your table, but in a larger and more decorative bowl. So the plating execution is done nicely here. The food comes to you hot, 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 literally hot off the griddle. Thus, I'd categorize this place as a fast casual restaurant in the same vein as Quick Way or Panda Express or Halal Guys or Panera Bread. The enhancement here, though, is that there is a server that comes to your table to take your order, bring your food, refill your water, clean your table, etc. Now, that does make me wonder what the correct tip would be. It's probably along the lines of buffet, so 10 or 15%. It shouldn't be 20%, but it also shouldn't be 0% either. I'm just thinking out loud here. Now, on the other side of the coin, which we will not explore here, is the fact that they sell sushi rolls. However, I think if they wanted to be a sushi-first restaurant, they would have named this place Yummy Sushi. I'd buy into that. But the Mongolian stir-fry alongside sushi, it's kind of a weird pairing. If you ask me, it's kind of like pineapples on pizza. Yes, I do find that weird. Thus, we're just going to talk about the Mongolian barbecue side of the coin. So, how yummy is the food? Well, it's really as yummy as you decide to make it. The proteins do look fresh. That is, I didn't see evidence of ice or discoloration on them, and they easily separated when we used the tongs to pull out the portions we wanted. Now, it is a moderately priced lunch, so I'm not expecting anything unexpected. It's the typical items like the smaller shrimp, the standard cuts of beef, common whitefish, etc. I'm thinking aloud again, but I think I would pay more if we had more premium options. Maybe ribeye or filet mignon, maybe prawns, maybe cod as a dinner option. That's probably not going to be part of the Yummy Bowl strategy though, especially given this location at a Class B strip mall. Anyway, here's my bowl in its raw form before I hand it over to the cooks. There's shrimp, whitefish, tofu, bamboo shoots. I'm going to top it off with a serving of egg noodles, a raw egg, some broccoli, and then include some sauce. I kind of like the build your own dish concept. You feel like you have some control over it, unlike places like Chipotle, where you kind of panic every moment when they start to slop on ingredients in your bowl. Let me now pass this on to one of the cooks, and then I'm going to give you a few quick tips on how to maneuver through this kind of setup so that you can get the most bang for your buck. First, you'll want to add the proteins to your bowl first. Obviously, the more proteins you get, the more value you're getting. And of course, this restaurant knows this, which is why the proteins are the last thing you'll see. The line kind of psychologically forces you to start with the noodles, which is actually the last thing you want to add because that will take up a significant chunk of space in your bowl. So work your way backwards by adding veggies next and then noodles last. Also, keep in mind that everything shrinks when it's cooked, so get twice as much as you think you should and everything will work out fine. Let your bowl overflow with ingredients. No one is going to judge, and I will admire you from afar. Now, if you don't like the finished product, that's pretty much your fault, since you had total control over its ingredients and spices and sauces. Mine was fine, but I've also had this umpteen times at regular Chinese buffets. The kids, though, liked it because they like noodles and they added some of the sauces that leaned towards the sweet side. So they were happy. And you know what? That's what was really important for me. Happy kids means less stress. Wouldn't you agree? I'm only going to comment on the Mongolian BBQ side. I liked the open kitchen concept, and I think it would be kind of neat if there was a way for customers to get a view of the cooking station. It's all show and tell, after all. It would have been nicer if the cooks were wearing a chef's hat or toque like they do at Benihana's. And here's an even wilder concept. Wouldn't it be cool if the chefs came out of the Benihana school where they could razzle and dazzle as they cooked? You know, the spinning spatulas, the choppity chop sounds of the cooking utensils, the fire, and a little bit of martial arts flair. There was untapped potential in showmanship here. Who would most enjoy this restaurant? Definitely families with children in search of an easy dinner option that included noodles. Also, it's a viable concept if you're in a hurry. In that case, this is a great spot to get a decent meal in a short amount of time. I do think, however, that the lunch option is not a very good deal. As I mentioned before, you can find this concept within Chinese buffets where the entry ticket for lunch is typically about $11, which is less than the $13 they charge here for one bowl. So I don't find this to be a particularly good value in this regard. Luckily for this place, though, the nearest Chinese buffet is 7 miles away. But there is definitely a niche for a restaurant like this, and it's a good addition to the local neighborhood restaurant scene. So, a decent number of reasons to check out Yummy Bowl if you live close by. Hey, this is the Daily Dad reminding you to try new things and to be happy.